In this video, I'm going to talk about the basic integral tool. Then the rule I'm going to be focusing on in this video is going to be the power rule. And don't forget that power rule is mostly applicable whenever you're talking about what polynomial. And then polynomial is actually any expression of a function that has to do with what with two variable. Either we have the dependent variable or the what independent variable, right? And we always say something. Whenever you're talking about the rules of what of polynomial, rules of polynomial has to do with what the numbers of what of let me just say the power of what of the dependent of the independent variable rather, right? So what I'm going to talk about is that any polynomial of what of degree 2, we actually have what two numbers of what of root. We have different numbers of what different powers of what of polynomial function. So whenever we want to integrate any polynomial function, we are going to follow the power rule, right? So that's exactly what we are going to follow. Now suppose we are giving, let's say we have integral, we are giving just an expression. Let me just say we are giving y equals to what x is power what of n, and we are asked to find the antiderivative of what of y. So what it means is that we are asked to integrate our x is power of n with respect to what to the x. So in this scenario, what we're going to be having is that since we are going to deal with what with power rule, we're going to integrate this and we're going to have x raised power what of n plus 1, then divided by what n plus 1 plus c, right? That's exactly what we're going to be having, right? So what it means is that whenever you are given this kind of function and we are asked what to integrate it, we are going to add 1 to the power, then we bring down the power, then we are going to add what c to it. And don't forget we are basically putting this c because we are actually not integrating with what with limits. So let's go ahead and have some question. Now suppose you are given, let's say you are given integral, right, of 3x raised to the power of 3 dx. Now if you look at this, we are actually having two particular different value multiplying each other here. The first one is that we are having a constant multiplying what a polynomial here. So we are going to follow the constant rule first. It is step by step process. You first bring out this constant. So you're going to have 3 integral of x is power 3. You are going to have the x. You've obeyed what the constant rule. Then you go ahead and integrate what is inside. And since what is inside is actually what a polynomial, what we're going to be doing is that we're going to have 3 into brackets. Now look at this. We're going to have we are going to follow the polynomial the power rule actually, because the power of this polynomial here, which is x, is actually what 3, right? If we follow this same expression, this expression here, right? If you follow the expression, and don't forget that this expression is as a result of what of this one that we have here. So we are having x is power 3 here. So that's that our n in this case is 3. So we're going to have this to be x is power 3 plus 1 divided by what 3 plus 1. So that's exactly what you're going to have. Then you're going to have what plus c. So you cannot go ahead and simplify this expression further. We're going to have this to be equal 3x is power what 3 plus 1 is what is 4, right? Divided by what 4 plus what c, and that is the answer. It's very, very simple. Now let's go ahead and solve another example here, right? Let's go ahead and solve another example and see what let's see what we're going to have. Right now, the next one I'm going to solve is that suppose you are asked to find the antiderivative of what of x raised power of 6 divided by what 2, right? So let's say we are asked to find this kind of integral, right? We are having x power of 6 divided by what 2, then we're going to have the x here, right? So in this case, what we're going to do is that we can factorize what the constant here, because there's a constant here. I can write this expression as what as integral of 1 over 2 then multiply by what x is power what of 6 dx. I can write as what in this form. So here I can actually bring out this 1 over 2. So bringing it out, I'm going to have 1 over 2 integral of x is power what of 6 dx, and then let's go ahead and integrate this value. So here integrating this, I'm going to have the whole expression to be 1 over 2, right? Then here I'm going to have x is power what of 6 plus 1, right? Then divided by what 6 plus 1, right? Then I'm going to have plus c. If I simplify this expression further, I'm going to have 1 over 2, then x raised power what of 6, then divided by what divided by 6. That's exactly what I'm going to have. So the x is power what of 7 rather. That's exactly what I'm going to have. X is power what of 7, right? Because I'm actually adding them together, right? So here I'm going to have x to the power what of 7, then divided by what? Divided by 7, then I'm going to have plus c. So I can leave the answer like this, or I choose to simplify for that. So simplifying this expression for that, I'm going to have x to the power what of 7 divided by what? 2 multiplied by 7, that's going to give us what? 14 plus c. So that's just the answer. Right, so that's just if you integrate this expression, this is exactly what you're going to have, right? So I'm using this 1/2 to multiply it because from the start I'm using everything here to multiply what? The integral of what? X to the power of 6. Now let's say we have another question. Let's move to another question now. So in this question, let's see what you're having, right? Now let's say we are asked to integrate. We are asked to find the integral of in this case you are given the x divided by what? 2x to the power what of 5, right? So that's what you are asked to integrate. So it's very simple. What I'm going to be doing here is that I can actually bring out this 1/2, right? So if I bring out the constant, I'm going to have 1/2 integral of the x divided by what? X to the power what? 5, which I can rewrite this expression as 1/2, right? Integral of 1/x to the power of 5 multiplied by what? The x, right? So in that case, if I actually use the inverse rule, I'm going to have 1/2, then I'm going to have integral of x to the power what? Minus 5. If I bring this one to the top using the indices, right? Indices inverse rule. So here I'm going to have the x in front of it. Then let's go ahead and integrate this. I'm going to have 1/2, right? So integrating x to the power minus 5, I'm going to have everything here to be x to the power what? Minus 5 plus 1 divided by what? Minus 5 plus 1, right? So here I'm going to have plus c. So I can now simplify this expression further. If I simplify this expression further, I'm going to have 1/2, right? X is power what? Minus 4 divided by what? Minus 4, right? That's exactly what I'm going to be having. Then plus c. So if I simplify the whole expression now, I'm going to have here, I'm going to have x is power minus 4, right? Divided by what? Divided by, here is going to be minus 8, right? So that's exactly what I'm going to have. Then what can I do in this case? Should I stop here, or I should simplify further? I can actually choose to stop here, but it will be better for me if I can actually simplify the whole expression further, because I can actually simplify the expression. Now let's go ahead and simplify the expression here. So here, since we're having x power minus 4, this is basically, I can write everything here as what? As 1 over x is power 4, right? Then this is going to be multiplied by what? This is going to be, or simply let me just say divided by minus 8, or multiplied by what? 1 over what? Minus 8 plus c. So if I simplify this, I'm going to have minus what? Minus 1 over 8x is power 4 plus c. So this is exactly what I'm going to be having if I simplify, right? Because I bring out the minus here, then I bring out the inverse here. So that's exactly what I'm going to have. So this is basically what the answer to the question. Now let's solve one more question, and then I'll give you some questions to solve. Then you're going to drop it in the comment section below. Now let's go ahead and solve one more question now. Suppose we are given, we are asked to find the antiderivative of what? Of 2 divided by what? 3 6 of what? Of root 6. Yeah, right? You're going to have here, we're going to have the x. Now what I want you guys to know is that if you can actually try this question out, make sure you go ahead and try it. It's very simple, but if you feel like you can solve it, you can actually go ahead and give it a try, because it's very simple. Now let's go ahead and solve it. So here what you're going to be having is that, don't mind this cube root of what? Of 6, cube root 6 6 root of what? Of x. Don't mind it, it's very simple. What you're going to do is that you can actually bring out the constant here. So the constant here is going to be 2 divided by what? 3. Then I'm going to have integral of here I will be having 1 over, I'm having 6 root x, right? You are going to have the x here. So I can rewrite the expression inside this integral. So if I write the expression inside this integral, what I'm going to have? I'm going to have the whole expression to be 2 over 3. Then I'm going to have integral of, here I'm going to have 1 over x is power 1 over 6, right? X power 1 over 6 dx. That's exactly what I'm going to have, because the power of x is what? Is 1. Then I'm finding 6 root x raised power 1. So that's going to be x raised power 1 over 6. Now if I go ahead and simplify this expression, this is going to give me 2 over 3, right? Integral of, here I'm going to have x raised power minus 1 over 6, right? Dx. Now let's go ahead and integrate this kind of expression. Now integrating this, we're going to have the whole expression to be, right? We're going to have it to be here. That's going to be, let's say we're having here, we're going to have 2 over 3, then we're going to have, open a bracket here, then here we're going to have x is power minus 1 over 6 plus 1, right? Then divided what? Minus 1 over 6, right? Plus 1. So then here I'm going to add plus c here. So that's exactly what we're going to have. So now let's go ahead and simplify the expression further. So if you simplify the expression further, let's see what we're going to have, right? Let's see what we're going to have if you simplify the expression further. So yes, simplifying the expression further, what I'm going to have is actually we're going to have this to be equal, right? We're going to have it to be equal. I'm going to have 2 over 3 here, the one that we have outside here, 2 over 3, right? Then I'm going to have here, it's going to be x is power over 5 over 6 divided by what? We're going to have 5 over 6, then plus c. So I can go ahead and simplify my answer very well, because here I can actually write everything that is here in between this side. I can write as something else, right? I can write as something. So let's go ahead and simplify it. So simplifying it, I'm going to have this to be, let's say, I'm going to have this to be 2 over 3, right? Now look at this. I'm going to have x is power 5 over 6, right? Then divided by, right? Divided by 5 over 6, which I can actually write as 2 over 3, right? X is power what? 5 over 6, then multiply by what? 6 over 5. Now if you look at this very well, I can use this 2 to multiply this 12, this 6 to give me what? To give me 12, right? I can use this 3 to multiply this 5 to give me what? To give me 15, right? I'm going to have x is power 5 over 6 plus c, right? So I can choose to leave the answer like this, or I choose to divide everything here by what? I can divide everything here by 2 or 3. Let me use 3 actually, right? If I use 3, I'm going to have the whole answer. The whole answer is going to give me 12 divided by 3, that's going to give us what? 4 divided by 15 divided by 3, I'm going to have 5. So I'm having 4 over 5. I'm going to have x is power 5 over 6 plus c. So if you get the same answer as this, make sure you drop it in the comment section below so that I can actually go ahead and check it. And if you like, you can actually drop your solution so that I can see the way you solve it. So it's very simple. Now let me go ahead and give you some exercise so that I can solve it. You can have a better understanding, because as far as integration is concerned, you have to practice a lot of questions, right? For you to be a master of this integral calculus, you have to solve many questions, because there are many approach to different problem. Now let's say you are asked find integral of 5x power 4 dx. It's very simple, right? So solve this, and let me just give you one more, right? So integral of 2, they are going to have 4 root x dx. So we should solve this as well, and go ahead and solve this again. Integral of 1 to 4 x squared dx. Go ahead and solve this as well.